Welcome back for another round of Two for Tuesday. This is where I get to ask shop owners 2 questions and they will give us answers on a specific topic. Today's topic is what to do when you start a second location. And I have 2 guests with me today, so I'm going to leave the first guest introduce himself. Let's go ahead, sir.
My name is Shane Copeland from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I own a couple stores there, 12th Street Auto Care, and we just recently purchased a Team Automotive mid-March this year. So we've been in business for 11 years and just started our second location this year.
Awesome. And our second guest is?
My name's Travis Troy. We've been in business for 10 years and we opened Honest Wrenches Automotive Repair, and in 4 or 5 days we're going to be opening our second location.
So what's unique and why I had both of these people on with me today is each of them took a different approach. Shane purchased an existing shop. Travis started a shop from scratch. So my first question is going to go out to Shane. How did you know when you were ready to open a second location?
Oh, good question. We had a lot of planning and preparing going into that. We knew at our current location we needed some additional staff to be able to take on another store, just with what myself and business partner were involved with. In order to take on another store, there's a lot that goes in with that. So we wanted to make sure that we weren't understaffed, and we wanted to make sure that we could go in just guns a-blazing, ready to go. So getting the staffing up and going ahead of time was a big factor for us before we made that second location move.
Great answer. Appreciate that. Travis, similar type question is, once you decided to take the leap for the second location, how did you put your plan in motion?
So when Josh and I discussed this about opening a second location, we instantly started looking at locations and getting a gauge of demographics and where we felt that our best location or our best option would be for another location. And we were looking at different cities. We were looking all across the country. We really didn't have anything. We were pretty open. And then this opportunity came along that ended up being 15 minutes away from our current location. And it looked right, it felt right, and so we jumped in.
All right, Shane, next question for you. How did you identify the new location and what was important to you since you were purchasing a business?
Yeah, ours is kind of unique. Our store that we purchased was just down the street from us, about a mile, just over a mile. We had known the owners for, close to 10 years, I guess. Great shop, great reputation, which is important for us. Location is in an area that's being newly developed, which is great as well. So good traffic flow in the future. But they have a great reputation, great client base already. They did business similar to how we did business, which is just taking care of people. And that's a big part of our philosophy at 12th Street, is just taking care of people. We're here to help people. I wasn't going to buy a shop that was kind of a rundown, take advantage of people kind of shop. This shop we purchased was a very clean shop, run well, and there was some good opportunity in that as well. They weren't running things quite up to our standards. They were kind of skating by the last few years. So great client base, great reputation, clean facility. Those are some big factors into going into that decision.
So one of the biggest things I took out of that one is it was in alignment with your philosophies that this shop pretty much had. Would you say that would be the case?
Absolutely, yes.
Absolutely. I have a bonus question for you. Did you keep most of the older team members from the other location, the new location?
Sure. So the 2 owners that were there ran the front. And obviously with us purchasing the business, those 2 left. One did stick around, just up until a couple weeks ago. So, and just kind of helping in the capacity of just that PR position, meeting customers as they're coming in, just that transition period, which was important to us and important to them as well. The other owner didn't stick around, which was fine. As far as employees go, they had 4 technicians, 3 stuck around, and then we thought 3, and then 1 bailed on us kind of towards the middle of it. So 2 of their technicians stuck around with us. They were older gentlemen, which we knew going into that. One was 70, super smart individual, a go-getter for 70 years old. The other one is 64, be 65 in October, and he'll be retiring. So we knew going into it, we're going to have to find some replacements. Again, that's where finding the employees and making sure stuff's set up correctly was a big part of it. So to answer your question, in the end, by October, we won't have any of their existing employees.
Gotcha. So we started out with the idea that you were going to try to keep them, if at all possible.
Yep.
That by their choice, they chose to move on. Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
All right, Travis, your second question is, what are your expectations out of the new shop?
That's a really broad question, Reed. Our expectation is to do exactly what we've done the last 10 years out of our first location. And that is provide an exceptional service and experience for our clients. Furthermore, continue to have the same outstanding team that we've had at our first store. The way that we're going to be able to do that, and we've already started, is we've trained everybody out of our main store so far. So we've been able to teach them our culture, teach them our process, teach them that, who we are and how we operate business. And I think that'll really allow us to excel as we move everybody over to the new location and get them rocking and rolling there. They'll know our culture, they'll know our process. It'll just be in a different building.
Great. Ultimately, for a business owner to take on another location, everything needs to run very similar to both locations. That way you can plug and play with the people. And again, as long as everybody knows the culture, they're going to work the system, it'll work out great. Travis, I got a bonus question for you as well.
Sure.
Is there anything you would have done differently in the starting of this second location? So that way, if you are ready to go into the third location, what have you learned that you would do differently possibly?
Build a bigger bench. This shop kind of sprung on us pretty quick. Thankfully, we were able to acquire a really, really strong, I call it our starting lineup. It's our start. We've got a fairly large shop, and we're going to start at about 40% capacity and then continue to grow off of that. But I would say getting those people in there. And now that we've got 2 stores, we'll be able to utilize both stores and be able to hire within and empower our staff and grow them and move them to, their quote unquote, their store, and allow them to feel like they're working towards something. And then at that point, we'll be able to bring people into our other existing 2 stores and get them trained up and let them stay there, and then allow our other team members to grow onto either a bigger store or another store, or when we put that corporate layer in, once we go to 3 stores, have the ability to go to that corporate layer, which would be, a shop foreman, district manager, so on and so forth.
Awesome. I hear some dreaming big thoughts there. I'm excited for that. Just out of curiosity, Shane, are you dreaming of a third location as well?
Always. Great.
So Shane and Travis, I want to thank you again for being our guests. I want to thank you all for watching 2 for Tuesday. If you would ever like to be a guest, or you have a question that you would like me to ask a shop owner, please send me an email at reed@parmelis.com. Guys, thank you again so much for being there.
Thank you,
Thanks, Reed.
Appreciate you having us.